CLG EU. They've got a great, very disruptive front line and a hugely deadly back line in the end.
I really like this. Macnoon going on to Nidalee to verse Wicked's Malphite.
So this is very, very interesting. Macnoon going for that Nidalee, wants to play a heavy assassin.
Somewhat. I'm going to keep going.
Nice.
Squishy, but really no team. You're going to see turret dives coming from Najin's sword. This team does not look like they can play aggressive under turrets. A lot of them are squishy compared to the Malphite Shyvana and Lulu coming in with shield as well. So we'll have to see what they can do.
It just works out. They've got enough elements that of champions that can just kind of make those turret dives just barely work. So Maokai can disengage from a turret with Twisted Advance. It'll drop him off that turret aggro list, and the turret will switch to someone else. They've got heals and shields coming out from Song, and the game is ridiculously strong as long as they keep the early game from snowballing out of control. But right now, they're keeping the early game very, very tight. They're down a couple hundred gold just from minion farm, but in general, they're stopping all the possible aggression opportunities. By denying a red buff, you really deny a lot of that gank power that might come out from Maokai. That early slowing from that lizard buff is very, very powerful. It really helps you pick up kills here. So they're just removing options from the table. Snoopy constantly clearing, leveling up as fast as he can, and he just wants to be present and there to counter gank if something goes wrong.
This is really great harassment by Kane. Usually it's onto the AD carry, but they're just hitting Krepo so hard, forcing him to use all those potions. He's not going to be able to help Yellow Pete in a fight. So what they're doing right now is setting him up almost for the kill, having to flash away from that one. The aggression so strong from that Sona Ezreal poke bottom. But we do see Snoopy coming in, trying to push that lane back and say, not going to go down without a fight in this lane. I am helping each one.
This bottom lane is Kane being a complete boss. He is constantly harassing the opposition. He had a ward down aggressively in the enemy brush. He's going to flash in for some damage on Krepo, and there's the exhaust.
Oh, a little too antsy there. A beautiful shield by Krepo, but he goes in the Ignite. Mystic shot for first blood, going to Prey.
That was... Macnoon will not see this come in.
This is the perfect thing he needs to do here. The turret will give him vision right now, and Macnoon is still not level 6. His speed is slowed there by Wicked. The flash is out, the exhaust goes down with the Ignite, and Macnoon will surely fall to Wicked. One for the top lane. But that was smart play there with the amount of strength they had.
Yeah, even though they had Watch waiting around on the wings, it was still a level disadvantage. If Kane were 6, they'd say, sure, go for it.
Oh, and as soon as he leaves, they are going to get the kill down, and they just play the momentum of that bottom lane.
Hitting level 6 first was always a huge deal. That is exactly what happened there. They said, okay, Prey, you've got Tree Shot Barrage, go. No matter what happens, the root will last long enough, and we're going to give that kill onto Krepo. If Krepo were 6, he might have withstanded that damage, but that's what happens. One early advantage means you've got a half-level window to jump when you've got ults, and they don't, and they played that one perfectly.
Macnoon throwing a ward down at the blue bush. They're trying to really get aggressive warding down here. Yellow Pete getting a little more range on his shots, and you can see he's harassing a little bit more with that as his passive makes that range longer and longer per level up. Snoopy down bottom as they're waiting. Krepo to get back to lane. The turret's very low here. They've prepped it to be taken down. The aggression from this lane is definitely to dive this turret after it's taken. And Yellow Pete has been staying there quite a bit. We saw Prey pushing him back past the turret as they were farming the minions there. They have their own minion wave coming back up on this. So they should be safe for now. And we'll see Snoopy return to the jungle.
Yeah, ultimately, they can't aggress on Kane. He's level 6. Sona has Crescendo and Exhaust up. There is no dive in the world that would work on these guys. As I say, they're probably going to die.
Crescendo goes out. The power cord killing Yellow Pete right away. They turn this one out. Keep trying. Krepo taking a lot of damage. The shield is on. Essence Flux. The caster minions could be the kill, but Prey finally gets the basic attack. Watch to get those ganks down for himself. Healing up off of his passive. Continues to go around, but here comes Requiem. It may find him 2 kills, but no. Watch has just enough health, and we see Macnoon go down.
That was actually at lane. They are refusing to push. They are letting these minions push out to their own turret. Again, they still have the ward coverage to deny any pushes.
A flash in from Froggen. He pulls Watch under the turret. He takes some unnecessary damage. Here comes Snoopy. Snoopy and Froggen get the kills assist. And it looks like Song will stay to fight. He has no mana left as he throws out auto attacks, but they find the kill onto Snoopy to trade the 1-for-1 retribution. Then we see Orianna going back once again to grab the Wraiths. More CS and minion kills. 165 now for Orianna to 182 of Froggen. That early blue buff top lane is going to be hit hard. Kane goes in. The Crescendo stops them, but the Wild Growth comes out, popping up Prey. He had enough time to just while out on that CC, and then they continue to go after the fight. A sliver of health for Snoopy, but Wicked is still quite tanky. They're going to hold off on this and run in with the minion wave. Middle lane going down. Froggen gets hit hard as Macnoon transfers from top to mid.
Great advantages. The difficulty here is it looks like Sword knows about this golem. They actually do have it warded. They're going to make the play here.
You know, Freak, I'd say at some point it's going to be very scary for CLG EU to fall this behind. Froggen gets almost wiped out instantly. It only took a few spells. Cave follows right behind him in the 1-for-1. The focus is on Snoopy, and all the Najin health bars are still halfway full as Wicked drains down to nothing. Double kill coming in for Prey. MacNoon following from the backside as we have a slow coming from Crepo. Will they follow over the wall? And they do. MacNoon in super aggression mode, trying to find that way out, but he cannot do it. Crepo goes down, and it's going to be Yellow P left alive bottom. 10-4 in 19 minutes.
And it looks like it's now daylight savings time for Najin's sword. They've just added more time to that clock because when you realize that Tristana is super awesome late game, but only has a BF sword, look at Ezreal.
Crush down turrets.
That was a really risky move because they had what was a 4v5 at the bottom half of the map. If CLG was able to catch them, they could have turned around a 4-for-0 trade right here. Froggen in a duel with Prey, doing so much damage back to him. Can he pick this up?
Oh, he gets the heal. That may be very helpful for him. Wicked is there, however. They put Karthus on the other side as the flash went down. A lot of damage going towards Wicked. He unstoppable forces out of the fight and gets Crescendo to go down after using his ultimate. The focus on Crepo will for sure be a tower dive, and another double kill coming in for Prey. Najin sword support, Kane picking up a kill as well.
And now up 12,000 gold. They're going to make a move for Baron. They feel strong enough that they've got what it takes to kill off this epic monster here before 22 minutes. CLG EU, Snoopy could attempt for a steal, but he's back in the base right now. And with Ezreal so farmed, I don't know if they quite have the damage out, but Orianna is also great at DPSing single targets. Looks like it's not even going to be an attempt by CLG EU. This will be a free Baron pickup for Najin's sword. They have made all the right moves this game. For the game, they will always stick this one out. I mean, there's that legendary group stage game against M5 BenQ at DreamHack where they were down like 17,000 gold, still won.
Always Crescendo bottom. Crepo with one swipe. Actually, rather, that was Froggen going down. Snoopy coming in here. MacNoon able to try and do something for his team. He may go down here. MacNoon just getting out. Can Crepo make the slice? And he does. Hitting it with Glitter Lance. It will be a trade there, however, with the support. Sona now with 3 kills. They take out Shyvana, and it just looks like they will start to crumble under their own turret. They proved me wrong. They have a team that can dive turrets.
And they got to that point there where they've got so much money and so many items. Watch, finally there with the Heart of Gold, and the Aegis of the Legion is just tanky enough. And again, they've got heals and shields and more heals. It is so hard for them to actually die when they're together as a team. The extra ability power from Baron Buff going to help that as well. The inhibitors now open as well as Prey just stayed at that top lane, dealing more and more damage here. This is looking like a very nice push here for Najin's sword.
Yellow P is just forced to watch his structures go down. The inhibitor falls top. They are split pushing the bottom Freak, and this is what I just said. It's going to be very hard with the amount of control they have over this game to even stop this right now. The Aegis is out as well. They're starting to help each other in the area of effect zone. So this is going to be very big for them. Trying to initiate on this fight. MacNoon right in the front with Song. Song being very aggressive right now as they just wipe out Crepo. As they see the health bars go down, this says we want to initiate that much more. Going right in on Yellow P. MacNoon hardly taking any damage. And they're the Twisted Advance locking up Yellow P. They're all about the Nexus turrets now. The inhibitors are down, but they're just fighting for the fountain step. They are keeping them on the fountain and not even letting them heal. MacNoon getting hit up by the fountain laser, but making it out. The Hex Trigger keeping him alive after that shard hits him. They drop another inhibitor Freak, and right now they are just burning down this base with fury. And
this is so good for them. They can actually keep pushing despite being a little bit low on health. The Baron buff offering health and mana regeneration. 2 members of that team actually have heals. MacNoon is back to half health despite almost dying, taking a lot of damage from that fountain laser just a little while ago. They are ready to push down this mid lane as well. CLG knows that they're actually set up and ready to defend this. They know that they can really not hold against 3 dead inhibitors. But look at the burst. Froggen taking a lot of punishment as punishment for trying to be, nearby to the enemy team, and they're just going to keep pushing forward. Another turret is about to go down.
This is not going to be good. They have a little bit of time to work with here. EU needs to at least hold off for...
He doesn't have a lot of defensive items. Now, unless MacNoon and Song can really put up a lot of support onto him in a burst scenario, he is still burstable and killable if all of CLG EU is able to collapse. This might still be risky if the fight goes exactly perfectly for CLG.
Now, Freak, when you're this far behind in the game, and so actually the fight may happen here, so we're going to get ready for that, as Wicked tries to unstoppable force through there and execute onto Prey. If his team doesn't have enough damage to follow up, how do you now start this fight that you came to try and do?
Well, they want the turret on their side if possible. Like, this is an example right there where Prey is in there in minion range. He's going to initiate it. Let's see what they can do.
Unstoppable force and Wild goes for off. Wicked is the focus that he gets out alive. 2 members drop instantly. Froggen and Snoopy go down. The Requiem comes out for a bit of damage, but it looks like it just tickles Najin. The GGs are coming out as they push the final turrets in the game, and that is going to be Yellowbee heading for his fountain. MacNoon jumps on the fountain and flashes off the fountain. They are finishing the last Nexus turrets now. We do see them just milling about right in front of the fountain. They are just messing with the fountain laser. The damage is going down on the Nexus. Najin going up 2-0 and taking out Counterlogic Hero.
Starting up at the top with 2-0. CLG EU, a little bit of a mixed bag here at 1-1. We're going to see Saigon Jokers versus Team Dignitas up next. The thing to remember here is there is still the option